Hello, and welcome to Transport Fever again. Apparently my volume's just a tad too loud there. I will quickly work on that. But, that's the one I need. We are just looking around this tram line in my own game here. I'm hoping to now switch to mind the weird sound. If I'm going to be too loud, I'll move the mic a little away. Yeah, I want to move on to continuing the campaign I was doing last time. As I think we showed last time, this is my single-player world. Let's just go back to the main menu. And we can continue the campaign, but we actually were in the middle of one, so we want to load... I have it, right? Oh, live one, that's it. Yep, it's fine. Yeah, so we were working on Bridge Disaster here last time, and I think I was about halfway through the scenario. I don't actually know, but it felt like about halfway from the other scenarios. And...
Steel production is coming along beautifully. And thanks to the extensive data from the test runs, the construction of the bridge can finally begin. Let's go.
Yeah, so I believe we were delivering the steel. We started. You can see we've already delivered 80. There was another quest to take some goods by ship, and I have that well underway, if I recall. Yeah, coming across here. So... Oh, I'm entirely turned around from how I was looking at this last time. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so we had trucks taking some of the tools we were... Sorry, machines. Machine factory creating tools. Got it. Now I understand my confusion. So getting some of the tools and bringing them down to the shipyard, which was then shipping them across the river. So people in Dunfermline, I can't speak that at all. So the people here can get their tools shipped to them. So we're delivering steel. I was going to say we should try to speed that up, but I don't think it matters if we already have 80. That's just going to be the next round of the train. So I guess the question is, where is this train? It should be steel distribution. And it should be this one. And we can go to it. I keep wanting that to be a closed box. I don't know why. I've been on a Mac too long, I guess, historically. Yeah, so basically once this train brings steel to the other side line, this is bringing it to the tools factory. But once we return the entire way, this should be all the steel we need, all 100. Now, I'm not sure why the game's doing this, like, partial delivery. I think if it didn't do that, we would have been done with this part already. So, sometimes to make things quicker, and we probably missed a deadline because of it. I don't recall what the goal was. 1902... No, we might make that. Depends if there's some other problem that happens, but it looks like the bridge is almost done. I don't know if there's anything else in this scenario, but it would feel very short if we don't have to do anything else. Also, a lot of these prizes have actually a lot of distribution work. So... yeah, we might do this shortly. Obviously I didn't do that. I would have needed more units for that. This would require us getting newer, faster trains, I think. Because I think the current one only goes 45. I don't know, do we have anything that can go that fast? 50, 40, 60. So basically the only thing in my lineup that can go that fast is this train at full top speed. So that would take some work, and that'd be across, I assume, the new bridge, not the previous bridge. So we'd need to make some lines between places. Anyway, where is this train? Is this the one? That's the one. So we are just waiting for this to reach our destination. We're on high speed because I don't need to wait for this to go with the slow speed. I don't know. If this station, though, becomes not useful after this, I may need to redirect this to only go on the other part of the line. Which isn't that bad, just would require perhaps a little more work on my tracking. Anyway, we'll see in a moment. Slowly through the hills and trees and the forests. And a very windy track. Not that I was quite... Well, I just wasn't successful at avoiding a lot of terrain differences. This is lower. Okay. That should get us there. There we go. So now they want at least 5 passenger trips, so this certainly will require some new trains. And make it work, basically. So, does this still need anything? No. So this construction site's done. So the first thing to do to make sure we don't start losing funds at an alarming rate is to allow this train to only go back and forth here and not do the full loop. The easiest way to do this is we'll just add a little, if it'll let me, add a little cross here, which will let it come in on this side of the station and then return out that way. And just to minimize problems with that, and that'll be fine. Okay, so I need to go line manager, I need to go steel distribution, and basically remove everything. Add this station, add that station. And that should be fine. The train will remain the same. We're just going to let it slowly return wherever it is. So, here it is. Yeah, so this should be on its way right now back here. Okay, perfect. So that updates the steel. Now we need to look into passengers. The easiest line is just these two. So ideally I want something that like goes from here, 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 here. And given those green circles, it looks like that's what they're expecting too. So maybe we make it 2 types of lines. Okay, let's pause again. Let's start building the lines up. So I'm going to need a passenger train station. We can do a terminal station. And if I remember which keys are which, I think I'm just going to put the station out on this side. And we're going to do a similar thing here just outside of town. Now, since this is outside of town, I want to upgrade that part of the street. And probably make some sort of reasonable transit loop. So if I'm making a loop, let's go buses, let's go bus or tram stop. Let's rotate you around. I'll put the tram stop there, which will let people get on and off here, and then go through the loop through Edinburgh. So medium street again. Let's go build mode. We can finish that. I think this is already upgraded, so we have a nice loop around the town. We just need the bus stops. So effectively, on the 4 cardinal directions here, it will do most of it, if not all of it. And maybe an extra one here, just in case I miss some weird edge. Yeah, fine. We need a transport depot, which can go anywhere, really. Let's stick it. Too much curvature. Let's just stick it there. There we go. And we can buy... what do we have? Guess we have these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're just going to call it a bus, even though we're not quite that advanced yet. So we're going to start here. And make a simple loop around the town. And if we want to be nice, what we could do is make the reverse loop. Yep, that'll do it. So basically, it'll go around one way and then go around the other, with this being the main terminus point. We need to do a similar transit thing here. It's a little smaller. I have a magic wand. There I go. Do that. Okay. So again, here I'm not going to do the double loops because our train station basically is on the main loop. So I think all I'm going to do here is put one of these stops right outside the train station, and then continue with the cardinal directions, or close to them. How much did that do? How much did that do? Yeah, so we need like one here. And that should cover everyone. Of course, that means we need a slightly different setup here, so it's probably going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And set line, all new line. And so this one can be counterclockwise. And I know it's odd when you're seeing it like this. Sorry about that. I really wanted to come by at this. So what we do have for this scenario is waypoints. And basically all I have to do now is come here and inject that as a stop in between. And you can see now it goes around the more busier roads and not to this small little side street, which is exactly what I want. Okay, and then I need to buy, what, 5 more of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And new line. It'll make that one 2. And this simply goes in the opposite direction. So from here to here to that waypoint to there to there. Okay, and so now we just basically, instead of having one line that happens to loop both ways, we have 2 lines, one loops one way, one loops the other. No big deal. And that should let people get around these towns even without our train service. But our next trick is the train service. And if they're hoping for 60 miles an hour, let's see if we can't keep it above 60 miles an hour. Don't know if I can afford... No, so the numbers you're seeing here are the track speed limits, by the way. That'll get the train there. I probably want to double track this, but that's only going to matter when I can afford more than one train. And let's... Oops, not that. This. Yeah, we're fairly level. Happy to say. Okay, we can turn that off. And I guess until we have more than one train, there's no need for much else of anything. So all I want right now is to feed a passenger train on. We're just going to make a small spur here, no big deal, and we're going to make a rail depot. Okay, so let's see what we can afford. I mean, as I said, if we want to actually do it, we need one of these, which costs basically everything we got. I think we are not paying any interest. This is the free loan, but it won't let me borrow more because we're above 10 million. So maybe we do that after the main part of the mission, or maybe we just don't. Because I can afford some of these others and not have to go more in the red. Because ideally what we get is like another one of these. And we get 2 or 3 of these. 1, 2.
Good gracious.
And it complains about the loan, but that's okay.
Just this once, our financial backers are
3.
willing to turn a blind eye and help us out once again. But
And
this is definitely the last time.
And if need be, I'll take out that loan, but I think we can do... Well, depends. This might not be profitable for a little while. Anyway, we need to set a new line, which is passenger. And obviously this is the first stop. And that's the second stop. Okay, let's start everything. And if I can... here it is. Maximum wait time. Let's up this actually, and let's I think that's load any. Oh, full load any. Yeah, I'll change that back. I just don't want it to leave before any passengers get on board, because it costs a lot more when the train's moving than when it's staying still. Sorry about that, I might have just hit the mic accidentally. And we can see the buses are going all in one tight line, so that might take a little bit before they space themselves out. The others? Are they still in here? They are. I thought I named these lines too, but whatever. You can see them here as well. These motorized stagecoaches, I guess. Interesting vehicles. I don't know. This looks a little not quite the right time period, but anyway, have any passengers appeared at all on either side? And I don't necessarily mean on the train. Excuse me. Because there should start being some movement of people in the town itself. Certainly some building going on, which means they think something can work. And this isn't that small a town, I don't think. I guess some people are, 4 people are. Ah, there we saw someone just got on board. 1 of 6. As they slowly go down the street. Guess I should have sped up for waiting for this. And as I said, we did get the on time. I don't think anything else is time locked, so we can not worry about it. Either I've already lost or... Okay, so what should happen is as these buses get around to here, some of them will start dropping off people for the train station. And you can see those people are going over here and on board. Now, the train already left. I hope someone got on board. No. But we do have people waiting here. So I'm just going to set to this fill, if any, which is normal procedure. And I guess this line will be empty. I don't know if that will count. And he's recommending more. So how much was this loan? It's enough for another train like this one. So let's take it. And we can start doubling up the tracks for making this more efficient and more profitable, really. So gonna snap into place? No. More often than not, it'll snap into place like that when you're going along the side, but every now and then it gets highly confused. So, obviously, if not just to go with the storyline, I'm not going to double up on the bridge itself. But we will double up on this side as well. Usually on relatively level terrain, the doubling up's relatively cheap, so we don't want to worry about it too much. This is actually why I've done it so much already. Anyway, I'll let the train proceed on, and I can start adding in the signals, but we don't want to force one way, otherwise he'll get confused, because right now he's, well, actually he's on the right side of the track. Both meaning correct and actually the right. So, that actually been... I mean, you can put them on the left side, it is possible, I just don't. I mean, it knows because the signals are always to the right of the driver. So it knows which side I intend signal to be used on. Almost there. Did that take? It's got a little micro stall there. And that should let us in. Should speed up the out. Okay, so now we could just put another train on the line. Maybe another one here just to keep it. Apparently I got all the other goods across the river. That's a good thing. No road access to this town, is there? Interesting. So, do I have enough money for another train? Looking like the answer's not yet. In fact, I think I lost more during that than, So we're profitable this year, so maybe after the next run I can do it. Yeah, I have 33 people here and a train that holds 33. So after a few more profitable runs, we should be able to add another train. We are still making some money off this steel as well, which is a good thing. In fact, I can make more money off this deal by chipping some into these towns. And the easiest way of doing that is actually just coming into here and road depot, no, the meter equivalent. And yeah, so we want to be somewhere on this side of town. The only problem is you start putting stuff in like there and you lose a lot of money. Which is why a lot of people start using the bus stop trick. So what is tools anyway? So they're expecting to go to the shopping facilities. So it needs to go to this blue area here. Okay. That's a little cheaper if I do it right. So let's just put one in there and I'll eat the cost. Which we just got back from that train anyway. And I'm going to buy... We have a horse cart. We have this. So that takes 5, that takes 6, that takes 4. So this is the most efficient. We're going to buy like 5 or 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to make a new line. And tools. We're going to go from here. Oh, from here to there. So that will basically add tool delivery into this town, which should give me a little more income while we're waiting for other things too. So the bus services definitely look like they've picked up. Let's look at the line manager. Yeah, so that's the new line losing money. That's my shipping line, which is apparently not yet making money. That's too bad. Yeah, similarly. Yeah, so this whole chain for the tools is not being profitable. You know, the ship here to here, to here, to across, and then into town. Which is disappointing. It's not being aimlessly unprofitable, just not being profitable. Or, for that matter, the steel to the tools factory, although that's close enough, I think, that maybe me increasing demand will help out. Yeah. And this will definitely increase demand. So... got some Twitch achievement there, sorry. And yeah, so apparently that's not really profitable. What is being profitable right now? Because I think we're increasing. The bus lines are doing decent. In fact, as things are speeding up and increasing, many things are doing decent. What are we losing? Well, I guess it says we haven't lost anything this year yet. And last year we lost more because we were buying and selling new vehicles. And not much I can do there. Anyway. Yeah, I was waiting for it to be yet more money. Where's the train? Almost arriving, so that should be a nice jump to our bottom line. But certainly, this could use a second train. So let's start buying it anyway. Yeah, I'd have to do... Well, I'm sure if I wangled from the beginning my finances better, you could afford one of these now, and then I would get you the achievement. Anyway, let's stick there. Surprised he didn't just complain about my finances again.
End of the line.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No use begging.
Anyway,
Our financiers are refusing to put
I actually hate this one because I'm here listening to it, and we're, in theory, profitable. No, I don't need another loan. I might need this train to arrive. How much was this? 255, and we just lost 50 from some expense. You can see how much this jumps around. Okay, we just need to set the line, and I'm gonna wait. Until there's at least 33 people here after this train. Just so we make sure we don't have the train running and not enough people to sustain it. Looks like we could afford more buses on these lines too. Many of those bus stations are overloaded. $28, $29, $30. I see many people walking that way. There we go. Understand and recall that being one. Let's put you on passenger. What's it completed trips 1? I'm confused. Oh, over the course of 1 year. I'm wondering if I'm going to need 3 trains to get this done in that time span. Or maybe 5. It's actually... you know, very hard to get the full... Anyway, if that's the case, that's the case. Best thing I can do is keep them running, because this is profit. And are we gonna find the return train soon? This is a very long stretch for no passing. Particularly since it's in the middle of the line. So I guess we're staggered, so it's not that big a deal. Right there, do. So Mountain Dew just arrived in the chat. If anyone hasn't seen her channel, you should certainly check it out. So, here playing, if you haven't seen it, Transport Fever. Basically, I set up the train lines back and forth, and other transit, like the trucks here. Well, what would be trucks if it was a newer if we were a little more modern times. By the way, how's my audio levels? Oh, I don't care about that. Okay, good to hear. I know my last stream I felt the game was a little too loud as compared to my voice. Not that bad, but enough I didn't prefer it. How many people are waiting for this bus? Just a couple. That's indicating people are waiting for the lines, and if there's many, I want to add more options, but that doesn't seem too bad, just waiting for the next ride. In fact, if anything, we want another train on here, but I'm waiting for some money to accumulate first. So this is a pre-built scenario, and I'm trying to go through not that task. I don't think accepting that one's particularly good. But go through all of the stages. So right now we're working on getting 5 trips across this bridge in 1 year. And I suspect that's supposed to be from the green circles between these two cities. Currently, I'm not going to, probably, where are we, July? If I get 4, I'm lucky. I'm going to need another train on this line, but it costs a little over $1 million, so we have to earn a little money first. Speaking of which, this is the only thing currently not profitable. And that might just be where it is on its path. Yeah, he just arrived at the station. I also ask volume because it feels very loud when I'm right near the trains. Of course, I set the. I'm not listening to myself through the headphones, so. But, since this is a scenario, obviously budget's a little more tight than when you're late game free play. I'm wondering if I start some truck transit down here. No, that mountain's gonna be annoying for that. I'm just looking for a small project I can do, which isn't going to be painfully expensive. I guess we have this city. I can send some tools up there too. And try to, produce more tools, but I don't make money for producing the tools, I make money from transporting them. Are you limited on resources? Potential 43, stored 0. It says it's limited on resources. Am I sending enough steel? So that's 32 each trip. This is having no trouble keeping up with the steel. It just feels odd because the other line... There's only 1 train on it. I had 2 trains on it. Yeah, this line's going all the way here, through the steel plant, and then over to here, and back, forth, back, forth. And that's the line giving the materials for the steel. I guess it gives it 2 each time, though, so each time I do 1 trip, we do get 2 trips worth. Unfortunately, if I'm limited on the amount of steel reaching here, I can't increase distribution before I can increase supply. We're almost enough for a third train on this line, though, so I might figure this out by about that time. And since I'm in a campaign mode where I'm looking for specific goals, unless it's going to increase my income quicker, it seems hardly worth it. But this is getting most of the tools they can handle. It's getting 71% of what they want each year. And the other line eventually terminates here, and this is getting 70. Or maybe I just have too many trucks on some of these lines, I don't know. So I could make another line from here off this way. Where's my money? 1.2, let's make that next train. And I've been using these, plus 1, 2, 3 of those. That window can go away. Where's my train? I only got 2. Apparently I didn't quite have enough money. Buy it now. Here we go. And so long as there's 32, 33, 50 is much more, we can just put it on the line. Okay. So with the third train here, we really should be able to get all 5. And then see if there's anything more in this scenario. And of course we could do this first sprints in a second while I take another sip of coffee. But hopefully this lets us finish this part of the scenario, and they can either give me another task or we'll call it the scenario's done. Apparently, now we're running into a conflict on the bridge. That's why it's important to install your signals. I noticed that the blocked area here remained while the blocked area off this way was removed, since we're only trying to connect these two cities. That should have been 3, or does it only count when I get to the town? Yes. Except the bridge right now only has 1 line. Most of it I have double track though. I'm of mixed opinion. It's nice to see it go to 1 line sometimes, but when it starts becoming a bottleneck, it's time to change it. So that's 4. We're in November. Will train get there in time? Guess the question is whether this gets to the other end before the end of the year. Otherwise, I'm going to have to wait till we save up for yet another train. I guess... I'm not using any trolleys, but those look interesting. I guess... because I need the trains to go between the two for this scenario. Ferries are actually quite slow. We do have this ship going for transporting some of the goods. This is transporting some of the tools. But the real reason is, among other things, it's not acceptable to this scenario. Otherwise, given this layout, that certainly looks much more like a ship. Yeah. In Sandbox, it'd be nice to have a ship across these 2 points. Though, by the time you hit Modern Age, the train doing this might be faster than the ship anyway, and everyone would take the train. In fact, my Sandbox world's about this size, and it's like I have an airport over there and an airport over here, and no one takes the plane. They'd rather like the Excella style train across the map. I'm trying to just finish this particular scenario. I don't feel it's worth going into too much depth in the scenarios there. I think I've already lost some of the medals, so I'd have to retry. Yeah, that one I'd have to redo, the heavyweight there. Speed record, if we waited forever for some money, I could do, but it doesn't... You know, I just need a train that could do it. Anyway, can one more train arrive in 2 days? Guess not. Unfortunately, the problem with the scenario is I'm like really just waiting for enough money for the next one more train on this line, or for the trains to magically get there in time. So in theory, as we get more trains running, the income comes in quicker, so it's quicker to get your next vehicle. Yes, you would need at least this at actually top speed over the bridge to get that one. But, and I'm making a profit, so eventually I could get this, but we'd be sitting here, you know, it'd be easier to just leave the game on overnight and then do it in the morning. Except I'd need some alarm to tell me before 1940. Actually, the easiest thing would be to finish the scenario with these, which I'm using now. And then once I finish the main scenario, keep it running and do the one fast run. You know, sell everything and do the one fast run. I like how you start buying things and then you get a downswing on your money. If there's one thing I wanted in this game, would be a more running average of your actual finances. Or one... I don't know. I don't know if I really want this. The one January 1st, all your money goes away.
As of late, the longest and most popular bridge in the world stretches across the Firth of Forth, and we built that masterpiece.
Anyway, that's apparently the end of this scenario. Let's look at the time. As I said, the idea of continuing in general gets a little...
The new century is still young, but things don't look good. Tensions in Europe are rising. Hopefully, everything will turn out well. Fortunately, transportation services are always in demand, in good times and in bad. You just can't have any scruples about who you get involved with. In any case, it's certainly worthwhile to be well prepared for any eventuality.
Anyway, I will probably proceed with that in a moment. Yeah, I've already done that. No, the bigger free world I've been doing, it's small size. I was intending to start another one sometime soon, which is a larger freeform, you know, sandbox. Has been this one. This loading screen takes forever. Particularly since I was on it since reboot. So here I certainly have a lot more stuff going every which way and money to do anything with. The problem here is because it's a small map, you know, there's many things I could make a little more efficient or, you know, try to work out, but it's mostly just moving along. If I wanted to do anything, it would be somehow make the airplane work. And reality is, I should probably just sell a couple, because they get bunched up like this. But it's like sort of irrelevant, because and maybe you? Sort of irrelevant because no one takes the plane. Because it's like only here to here, and I guess they determine it's just as efficient to take the train? Not sure. I mean, if I was to continue on this world, what I've been trying to do is try to convince the city to grow over here, hoping if people were near the plane, they would start taking it. It's having nothing to do with this theory. So, the idea of this line gives me an idea of, instead of like using, you know, other transportation methods, it'd be interesting eventually to have a city maybe on a larger map that used like an internal train loop, you know, with the small stations. Of course, both the airport and this train line are losing me a ton of money out of the 100 million I'm making. At some point, I'm sure I'll look into the mods. Certainly, I could use a little more assets and help building things like these sort of bridges. I know there's some flyway mods to help out for stuff like that. Anyway. And that's quite a bit of stuff to be shipped everywhere. Oh, sorry about that. I've not... Well, I shouldn't say I haven't looked at OpenTTD, but I haven't really played it any, so I don't know. Anyway, nothing I did in there is really important.
The old continent is constantly yielding great new inventions. Be part of this rapid technological